Hello, welcome back to Limited Insight. It's episode 12 of the Granny Annexe Build. We're going to have a bit of a catch-up episode today, so weeks 14, 15 and 16. It's been a bit of a kind of mixed bag for the last 3 weeks. There's not been an awful lot of work done on site. In fact, builders haven't been on site in just over a week. So things have kind of slowed down a bit. We're not massively happy with the builders at this point in time, but obviously there are still plans to get work completed, and we should only be a week or two from being in a position where my mother can actually move into her granny annex. So anyway, so let's catch you up on all of the work that's been done over the past few weeks, and then we'll discuss what is left to do. Let's get into it. So week 14, and the cladding on the outside got finished. So this cladding goes all the way around the back of the building. Apparently it's easier to clad than it is to render, and it works out about the same in terms of cost, so that's what they did around the back, even though you're never going to see it. The plastering got a chance to dry, and all walls were whitewashed, ready for the first coat of paint. So there were a few patches of plaster which hadn't quite dried, so they were kind of painted round until they get a chance to dry properly. There's not any point in painting them. So finally the windows and doors went in. So I've been waiting for these for quite a long time. It's great to see them finally go in, and it's more of a building now. You need a set of keys to get into it, so it's a good feeling. So week 15 was pretty much just about getting in the kitchen and bathroom. So we have had these units for a few weeks now. The kitchen purchased from DIYkitchens.com. So what you see here is about 1,400 quid's worth of units. Appliances were separate. So the first thing that happened this week was the second fix of electrics. So all of the sockets, switches, lights all went in, as well as the water heaters that you see here. These were initially mounted too high up, so the builders had to lower them. Absolutely no idea why the electrician decided to put them up so high. The one in the kitchen was even higher than where the worktop would come to, so not quite sure what the thinking was there, but anyway, they're okay now. They're mounted lower down. So as you can see, we have outdoor lights. So we've got a series of lights, all on sensors, which will illuminate the path up to the annex. So when you get to the top of the stairs in the garden, your path is gradually illuminated, so you don't trip up or step in any dog turds. So we've also got 2 lights, up and down lighters, outside of the French doors. We had a double power socket installed, which will probably come in handy for gardening tools, etc. So we're now 100% there in terms of electricity. You can turn the lights on and off, use the sockets. So week 16 is the week where pretty much nothing got done. So we actually had the flooring installed at this point. So we've gone for carpet with underlay in the bedroom, and then the living room and bathroom both have vinyl installed. So this did present a few problems, because after we got everything out, it turns out that the screeding on the floor wasn't all that great. So I had to go over the lot with a sander just to remove any sort of bumps that would stick through the vinyl. And also a couple of areas needed smoothing out where the screed hadn't quite self-leveled enough. Once this was done, the floorings were able to go down, and they do look spot on. So we promptly covered it up to protect it, because there's still a fair bit of work that needs doing in here, a fair bit of decorating, a fair bit of things fixing, so there's probably still going to be a bit of dust, etc. So we want to protect the floors as much as we can. And then it came to assembling a few pieces of flat pack furniture. So we have a gigantic wardrobe, 2.5 meters wide, very, very heavy, series of boxes. I've never lifted anything heavy in my life. It's crazy, the weight to this thing. But we successfully got it built between two of us in half a day. Crazy amount of fixings, as you can see, but it came together quite nicely. It's a really nice piece of furniture. This feels really good quality, nice sliding door, really smooth. This was from Wayfair, it was around about £700. The sofa also arrived from DFS, so there was nowhere to put that but in the annex itself, so we've now covered that up to make sure that that doesn't get ditched either. So, left to do then. There is quite a bit of work. Most of it is on the outside of the property, granted. So, windowsills in the living area, they need to be put in. Although the floor's in now, the window sills still need to go in. Got on here, roof tiles missing. Funny story, there were 2 roof tiles missing from the top. They got replaced actually this weekend just gone because we had a leak in the roof. So we had a pretty torrential storm. The roof ended up leaking and came through to the ceiling of the bedroom. So obviously not very happy, contacted the builder, and he came out on Saturday just to fit those last 2 tiles, which he had but hadn't yet fitted. So it is now 100% watertight and shouldn't happen again. But that was one of the jobs that's been on the to-do list for quite a few weeks now, which is now done, which is good. They need to finish the cladding on the outside, mainly in the corners of the building and around the windows, that sort of thing, to smarten it all up. Then of course the front portion of the building needs rendering, so anywhere that doesn't currently have cladding on it will have to be rendered in a sort of a off-white colour. And then we need a patio outside of the French doors. We need the gravel path around the back and sides of the building, and then a path which goes from the top of the stairs in the garden up to where the patio area is and the effectively front door. After that's done, they then need to fix all of the lawns that they've ruined over the past few months with storing building supplies and, you know, heaving stuff. The biggest job that needs completing now is the plumbing. So physically getting water to the taps and connecting the water supply up to the house. So all of the pipe work is in place to do that. It just needs connecting either end and it's good to go. So our builders are actually pretty multi-skilled up until this point. Other than the electrics, they've done everything themselves. The only other thing they can't do is the plumbing. So a guy has got to be drafted in to come and sort that. Once that occurs, it's ready to move into. The decorating is pretty much there. There's just a little bit of cutting in to do. The internal doors, they still need to go in, and a door frame for the bedroom as well. And then I'm sure there'll be a few items on the snagging list which will have to get sorted, but that is pretty much it. Everything else is now done. As you can see, we've got furniture in, we've got floors down. They've just got to finish up the bathroom. We had a bit of a nightmare with the toilet. Word of advice, do not use Victorian plumbing. They are an absolutely shocking company. The stuff that they send you will be fairly inferior quality. That's if it even arrives intact. And then trying to sort out problems with them is an absolute nightmare. They're not available to call on the phone. You just have to raise problems on their website and they don't get back to you very quickly. So with the toilet, we've had a major issue. We've got through 3 cisterns. The toilet itself is off colour, so it's not exactly white, it looks more cream and doesn't even match with the cistern, but even so, that's what we had to work with. And yeah, the cistern was cracked, so they sent us a replacement after a few days, and lo and behold, that was cracked as well. And they just kept sending replacements, and each one was progressively worse than the last. The last one that we had was absolutely smashed to pieces. I'm now in the process of trying to get a refund, which is proving even harder. I'm kind of at my wit's end with them, and I may end up losing around about £250 just because of their incompetence. So not a great experience from them. Also, when they delivered it, they just dropped a pallet in the street. The guy had forgot to charge his pallet truck, so they just left a pallet in the middle of the street, literally. So I had to quickly get everything off so that we didn't cause problems with traffic. So experience with Victorian plumbing couldn't have been much worse. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, the new toilet, that needs to go in place. So does the vanity unit and sink. The shower is already attached, it just needs plumbing in. So yeah, it's just really finishing touches now. So we expect to be complete within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I feel like I've been saying that for about 2 or 3 weeks though, so it doesn't feel that we're number one priority for our builder anymore. I'm guessing they've got other projects which they've committed to because they thought they'd have done with this by now, but far from it. So yeah, it's just getting a little bit stressful now, but hey ho. So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. I'll update you again next week. Hopefully we'll be able to discuss final costs as well. Can't do that yet. I'm getting a lot of people requesting kind of costings for this project, but the honest answer is we don't have the final costings yet. Until everything is complete, we're not going to know exactly how much this thing is costing. See you next week. Bye bye.